Hi guys, it's Flake, and I want to go a little bit off of the norm here. Usually I talk about esports related things, deck guides, things like that, but I want to share some other passions with you that I have that I often discuss on stream. Now, I don't think it's much of a mystery that I'm a big geeky nerd kind of dude, but my passion for things like Spider-Man and Marvel Comics really runs deep, and it's something that I really invested in my mid-teens, I'd say, and really kind of took off with for the past almost 20 years. I'm a huge comic book collector. I've been to countless conventions. I was the guy digging through bins to complete a collection. And a lot of them are really near and dear to me. But people ask me, like, Flake, what's your favorite comic book of all time? Now, if you were talking about title, I'd say most likely Amazing Spider-Man obviously is something to me that's very special. But what about story arcs? Because something as vast as Amazing Spider-Man, which has been around for since this early '60s, is it's tough to just sort of just say that that's the best because it's had such a long run with such an amazing amount of storyline. So, what is your favorite? Now, I'm very much a big Spider-Man fan. That's no secret. There's a picture of me many years ago in my Spidey suit. I was nicknamed Spider-Man for a long time at various different jobs I've had, and it's just the way it goes. But what is your favorite story arc in comics? So no surprise, it's a Spider-Man story arc. And I want to talk to you about Back in Black. Back in Black is the aftermath of Marvel's Civil War. Now, if you know Civil War, you've seen a little bit about it in the movies, but if you're a comic book aficionado and you know about the Civil War storyline in Marvel 616, 616 being the universe, Marvel 616 and Civil War from 616 is put registration versus anti-red registration, similar to the movie theme. But what happens at the end of Civil War is basically Spider-Man's his identity is revealed, and he does so as a kind gesture to Tony Stark. So to sort of put a good face on superheroes and kind of push the pro-registration agenda. The storyline that I think is amazing. Now, that is a very shocking storyline, obviously, but it's the aftermath that comes after Civil War. Tony Stark kind of manipulates Peter Parker to reveal himself for the pro-registration agenda. Everything that happens afterwards is an absolute nightmare. Now, Back in Black is an amazing storyline because it really challenges Peter Parker's ideals, his values, and everything he holds dear, including his intellect and his adherence to things like, logical solutions to things and working his way out of no-win scenarios. So what happens in this is basically once Peter Parker's identity is revealed, it becomes incredibly important, not just to the pro-registration agenda, but to also all his enemies who are out there who've been trying to kill him for so many years. And one of those people is the Kingpin. Now, the Kingpin's already in prison, but obviously, like you've seen in countless other mob movies like Goodfellas, once you're in prison, you still have some influence. So the Kingpin essentially hires a hitman, an assassin, to murder Peter Parker and his family. Now, Back in Black starts with Aunt May eating a bullet that was meant for Peter Parker, and it all goes downhill from there. And I don't want to spoil the entire storyline for you, but what Back in Black represents, which is really super awesome to me. By the way, Back in Black, I should obviously give credits, is by probably my favorite comic book writer, J. Michael Straczynski, and the art was done by Ron Garney. Ron Garney is someone I met at a convention. He signed my copy of Back in Black, and it was really important to me. It was really awesome. But what happens after that effect is basically Peter Parker he's a fugitive from the law. He is an outlaw. He is a criminal, and he needs to essentially protect what is most dear to him: his love for Mary Jane, which together at that point they are an item, and Aunt May, who has been the guiding light for him for so many years. Now, what is really, really poignant about the story is that Aunt May is put into a hospital, brought there by Peter Parker, and she is not looking like she's going to survive. This stretches Peter Parker into avenues of his, of the character development that really were never were kind of taboo for so long. Things that Spider-Man has as an important ideal has always been, doing the right thing, doing it the right way, and never killing. Spider-Man does not kill. Spider-Man is a hero. He does not tiptoe around that ideal. That value has always been steadfast within him. It has been, an iron pillar of who he is. He is there to rectify situations, be the hero at his own expense, but never at the expense of lives. Now, this is where it gets really awesome. When you threaten someone like Spider-Man with a scenario that is essentially unwinnable, you pretty much push him to a degree where you get mad. And there's an interesting scene in this where the Kingpin references, Greek tragedy and a quote from it in order to, give a little bit of, extra context and a little bit of extra flavor. The quote is, "Whom the gods would destroy, they first make mad." And that's exactly what happens to Peter Parker. He goes a little bit berserk. And what's great about this is that he then becomes the black suit. He goes and seeks it out, and he seeks vengeance. He goes to hurt. He goes to kill. He goes to really become what he has never become or has always avoided, because Aunt May is on her deathbed. His life has been ruined. It has been completely put into shambles. He has done everything in his entire lifespan in order to create an existence that is good for him, good for the world, and done on the right way. He's taken the hard route the whole time, and now it's really, he thought he did the right thing and he was screwed over, and now he's pissed. And there's such an amazing story behind all this, because you see a Spider-Man that is less morally adjusted and anchored down by those virtues, and more off the chain and out for revenge, which is amazing, because he's still trying to do the right thing, but that slight dive into madness that he can't necessarily overcome through conventional means, he's trying to overcome through brute force and violence and revenge. And that's something that you've rarely, if not ever, seen in the character that J. Michael Straczynski has really pushed to incredible degrees. This is a storyline that I think is best summarized by an incredible page where Peter Parker eventually confronts the Kingpin, and you can see it right here, but he says, Spider-Man's not going to kill you. Peter Parker's going to kill you. And that is incredible. That is such an amazing scene of the dichotomy of Peter Parker and Spider-Man, and that they are not necessarily one, that the ideals of Spider-Man are live with the suit and not with the man. That the man has gone mad. He's out for revenge. His life's in shambles, and this is it. This storyline is led into by Civil War, and this storyline then is concluded by one of the most controversial storylines in comic book history, in my opinion and in the opinion of many, which is Brand New Day / One More Day. Brand New Day, One More Day is another one that a lot of people are kind of on the fence with, and find either very dangerous and very aggressive storytelling, very risky, but at the same time, people think that it was just a giant hoopla. Nonetheless, Spider-Man Back in Black is Amazing Spider-Man 539 to 543. It came out, I believe it was in 2007. Check it out. It is my favorite storyline for Spider-Man that really stretches the character's limits and tests who he is, and tells a really, really intriguing story about friendships and what people do for love, and what the extent people will go to satisfy their own emotional distress. So that is it, friends. Thank you so much for letting me share this with you, and maybe down the line seeing how we like this or not. We'll do some more videos about other stuff. Regardless, if you think that am I wrong on this, if you have your own suggestions, what do you think about the storyline? Leave the comments here on YouTube, and please, as always, hit that subscribe button. It means the world to me. Thank you so much. Be kind to one another. I will talk to you very soon. Adios.